How good did your quarterbacks play in that most recent game? I think the team had 10 pass breakups, Lamar had 4, but how good did they just generally play?
On the outside, I thought the corners played a very good football game, very solid, disciplined on the outside, and took away the deep passes. Thought they did a very good job.
How does the way that you guys practice maybe prepare some of those backups if they're needed to start? I mean, you obviously can't talk about the injuries, but if a guy like Eli's got to play or Isaiah's got to play, how much does the sheer number of repetitions your backups get help to prepare them for a game?
Everybody plays probably the same amount of reps. There's no backups. I keep telling the same. If you're on the field, you're a starter. So in the approach, there's no backups. Those kids don't feel like they're backups. They get put in the game, just like the rest of them do. So the ones that you're used to seeing on the field, there's some other ones that you're getting used to seeing on the field, and it has nothing to do with anything besides just their turn to step up. And so they're put in the game, and they're expected to do the same thing.
If you're putting like Noah Fuller Gates out there, where does he go?
What do you mean?
Like what position?
Where have I put him?
Who's he most likely to go?
Where have I put him?
Okay.
That's kind of how you like it. Is you train? Boodle was saying yesterday. You train every one of your tests is corner and safety and nickel, so they got to learn it all.
Every test is corner, nickel, safety, dime. Every test. So a corner has to know exactly the job of everyone on the field in the back end. So,
does that?
The question is wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, the way and I practice them just the same way. So, therefore, we need guys to. Hey, this week I think we got a third receiver they're putting the best receiver at a certain spot, and trying to create mismatches. I can put guys in different spots. We never can game plan, and guys are comfortable everywhere they go on the field. So when guys are put in motion and put in different spots on the field, they're more comfortable because they practice that way.
That's how Cam was able to come in and force a fumble.
That's
that was first play at safety.
That was Cam's first snap in that game at safety. That's why he was able to come in without blinking and making that play. Yes, sir. A lot of guys that can move in different spots. I think it's very, very good for us on defense to be able to move in and out of different packages and be able to Coach Chan's be able to be creative and do the calls he want to make. But without giving anything away or talking too much about that kind of stuff, I think that's more coordinator talk. For right now, just focusing on my guys. To be honest with you, focus on my guys getting ready to play this week.
Hey, your defensive line has produced 51 pressures, so like sacks, hurries, QB hits. I mean, when you look at the back end, how much does that improve life for you guys on the back end when they're doing that kind of damage through 3 weeks?
Yeah, the credit goes to those guys. The credit goes to the guys in front of those secondary. All the credit goes to those guys, and without those guys, the back end, won't be allowed to make those plays that they're making, and so the credit, it starts there, and they're doing a great job of getting to the quarterback, and practice habits are awesome, and it just makes the back end, play even harder, go even harder, because those guys are some dogs up front.
So is that split second? I mean, that just simple pressure right there, does that make up the split second for Lamar?
That half a second is huge. If we can get that quarterback to pump that ball or hold that ball a half a second longer, that's that half a second we need to get in coverage, is that half a step it took, Lamar was to get the PBU on that ball. He had 4, I think, in the game, but a lot of credit because of the line. So it works vice versa. Tight coverage on the back end makes that quarterback hold the ball a lot longer, and the D lineman can get to him. So we kind of work hand in hand, and we need the front front need the back end or the forward to work.
And I wanted to ask you about Stovall getting a scholarship yesterday. I know he doesn't really play in the base packages, but for special teams. And he was a guy that wasn't on the 110 a year ago. I think he watched the first 2 games in the stands, the Akron and the Troy game. I mean, when you look at what he overcame as a walk-on, I mean, just talk about what he's meant to the program and the attitude he kept.
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Stovall to come in every day and not only do what he's asked to do, but he's on a different speed. And he has that approach in football practice. He's in the secondary, and he's in the room, and he's not upset that his role hasn't been probably where he wanted to be right now. He comes to, when we're on defense, he shows up on defense, he's ready to go. He's great to have in the room. He's great for the younger guys in the room. The culture is right. And so Stovall has done what he needs to do, and he's making the right steps to be even better than what he is right now and to help this football team win football games.
So how was he off the radar so much last year? I mean, when you go back and look at it, you guys just get like a misevaluation because he went from not being on the 110, watching the first 2 games in the stands, to being your best special teams player.
Well, you know, when we talk about talent, it's a lot different, you know, talent and the culture when we first got here too. And sometimes the talent was there on some guys, but the culture wasn't right. And so just trying to balance the culture and trying to get the culture right. I think at the beginning, trying to get the culture right and recognizing the talent at the same time. So I think last year at the beginning, it was more of a culture thing in the secondary, in that room. So not per se Stovall just to point one finger at one guy, but it was the culture in the room that's really bad. So we really had to get the culture right in the room and get those guys. And then once the culture started to get better, you start to see guys like Stovall and guys starting to make a little bit more plays and a little bit more plays made in that room. And I'm talking about last year.
Okay.